Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, Explosion Network's media podcast. Every week we get together to talk about movies, TV, and online content. Help you answer the question, is Snoop Dogg right? Is it too scary to go to the movies anymore? In case your children are subjected to lesbian couples having a baby? No.
What?
Yeah. This is the story. I'm your host, Ash Lovely. Join me today, Dylan Blight.
Usually I know what you're talking about. Well, no, actually, I'll say 70-30, I know what you're talking about. I've not even an inkling.
Yeah, so Snoop Dogg came out in an interview and was like, I took my grandson to go see Lightyear. It was like,
Okay.
Then there was a section where it turns out two women have a baby. And my grandson went to me, how'd that happen? How two women meant to have a baby? He's like, I don't want to come here and have to deal with this shit. Just watch the movie. So yeah.
Oh.
It's very easy.
It hurts.
Adoption.
I didn't know. Didn't realize Snoop Doggy Dogg was so homophobic.
I know there's been a lot of reporting this week because of events happening in the AFL with homophobic slurs made on the field, and he's going to be the grand final performer.
I knew that, but
so there's a possibility he might be pulled. Yeah,
really?
That's the rumor that's going around.
Old Sneep D-O-double-G.
Yeah. Yeah, and as someone pointed out, he was on the show The L Word.
You probably didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, probably.
It stands for light 'em up.
The biggest hole in the story is he's talking about Lightyear, a movie that nobody went to see. So,
yeah, I thought you was going to say something crazy, like he took him to an adult film or something because you said about like a bird, like whatever. I'm like, no, okay, it's just that two women have a child, right?
Yeah, easily explained. Science, future. It's set in the future. Future science.
I just feel like you would rather be like, oh, like they probably adopted them, and the kid would be like,
okay, yeah,
move on, yeah, rather than, hey, can you explain to me the birds and the bees and how babies are born? Like, what's the harder conversation?
I mean, the more interesting question is how old was the grandson? The grandson's like 23. I don't get how this happened. Anyway, on today's episode, we'll be talking about what's in our series, going over some film news, giving some thumbs to trailers, giving this week's top 3. Kicking things off, the latest season of Peacemaker kicked off this past week. We talked about it on All New DC Cast, our DCU devoted podcast that you go check it out. Show notes. Links will be in the show notes. Obviously, kicking off now set in the DCU with the fantastic, just basic retcon of certain events during the recap to set it in the current universe. And we've got Peacemaker dealing with also an alternate universe, which is much better for him than his current universe. I guess is the basic premise of where we're going this season. Dylan, what do you think of the first episode of Peacemaker?
Yeah, enjoyed it. Obviously, I only recently caught up on Peacemaker, so most of the story threads are still fresh in my mind, and I'm was ready to get into the second season. And the first episode just seemed to, at least to me, like it was a good episode, but it didn't blow my socks off, just because it did feel like a lot of moving characters into places, and just I do wonder sometimes what the second season would have been without the DC universe change, and like if the story would have gone in the same direction, and like it did feel a little bit like let's just all right, continue, sort of.
Yeah, I thought a solid opening. It does go very wild at certain points. Definitely not. There's definitely not a show episode to watch with close people you feel awkward about and seeing people naked with.
Snoop Dogg's like, fuck Lightyear, I can't wait to go home and watch Peacemaker.
Come on, kid.
With my grandson.
Watch some John Cena. Yeah, there's some crazy nudity.
Can't see him or any of the dicks flashing around on screen.
Equal opportunity.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't like that. There were two guys who got together at one point. So
yeah. You know the craziest thing about that scene, not to go full spoils on it, but there are scenes in this show where John Cena is quite happy to be running around in his whitey tidies. But that scene where there's like 50 naked people around him, they're like, no, don't join in.
No, that was part of the story.
Cena was like, I don't know. Cena's
Mhm.
like, no.
Disassociated.
Yeah.
Anyway, check out Peacemaker. Check out our weekly after shows over on All New DC Cast, where we'll be talking about it's a more fun in the DCU. Also, the opening is not as good as the old one. Is that it? Deal with it.
You're trying to start fights, I feel.
Maybe. I was fortunate enough to go to a preview screening of a new Australian film, Primitive War.
Roar.
Yeah, so it was directed by Luke Spark, who did the Extraction movies, I believe, from memory.
You're saying that like there's a lot.
Occupation movies.
Okay. Yeah, there's like 2?
Yeah. I believe we did a spoiler cast for one of them back in the day.
We didn't like it.
Yes. Well, I can't remember what we felt about the movie, but that was several years ago. That would have been 2020 we would have done it because I'm pretty sure we coincided with the release of the sequel. So this movie is set during the Vietnam War. We're following a group called Vulture Squad, who are a team of misfits and specialized people led by Sergeant Ryan Baker, played by Ryan Quanson. They're sent on a mission to try and rescue a missing Green Beret platoon who have suddenly disappeared in the jungle when they're sent on a very classified mission. Sent by Colonel Jericho, played by Jeremy Piven, who is pretty much cast to play Ari Gold in this movie. So if you watch Entourage, the kind of performance he's probably going to give, for most of it. The Vulture Squad go in. They're kind of an expert team, I guess. Very successful rate of recovering prisoners of war. They have a big sequence at the start where they rescue a couple prisoners of war during the Vietnam War. So they go to the site where the Green Berets were meant to have been. And pretty much they discover dinosaurs here in the jungle. And they have to kind of deal with that imminent threat of dinosaurs being everywhere. Eventually they meet up with Russian paleontologist, actually, Sophia Wagner, played by Tricia Helfer, who knows why all these dinosaurs are currently here in Vietnam, due to Russian interference, and she has been kind of stuck in the jungle for 6 months after her husband's death, and she's kind of, just making do with whatever rations were in their facility before it was abandoned, and also doping up on morphine and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's pretty much this team having to deal with dinosaurs while also trying to stop a giant Soviet experiment that will potentially end the world. Very low stakes. I had a lot of fun. I think it's interesting with a movie with this kind of concept. There's 2 ways you can go about it. You can play it very, very straight, or you can lean into the ridiculousness. It's kind of winky at the camera kind of thing. This one plays it very straight, maybe even too straight. They're talking with military terms all the time.
Not according to Snoop Dogg. that was good.
Was it? There's 1 woman in this movie, so or 2 women in this movie.
How far apart are they?
Pretty far apart.
Okay, good.
Actually, maybe there's probably a couple more, but yeah, it's just very macho, stereotypical military terms and stuff throwing around. Certain characters have very stereotypical storylines. One of them's very much dealing with PTSD, and hearing voices in the head when he's trying to snipe and that kind of stuff. You got the brand new, the newbie to the group, played by Carlos Sanson from Bump. He's in this. and Brian Quanten, the leader who's got dark past, and is like he previously was like on a Bosch mission and that kind of stuff, and the the colonel's working against him and all that kind of stuff. Other than that, I mean, all the dinosaur stuff is really cool. Like, I mean, it's tense. I mean, some of it is it's clear that they had a set budget and like they chose what points to use more money on. I would say there's like some wide shots where they're going down a river where there's like dinosaurs in the background and they look very flat. I think is probably the correct term. Like they're not really in the world; they're just kind of there. But the massive action sequence at the end, which is well worth going to see it for, is where they clearly spend a lot of money and is like bonkers, crazy, delightful to watch. Yeah, I mean, it might be a little bit too long. I think it's what 2 hours 15 is what the runtime says on Wikipedia. So,
It is long.
yeah, might have overstepped his welcome. Could be a little bit tighter, but yeah, there is some gnarly stuff in this, and like some stuff with dinosaurs that you probably haven't seen. Definitely, obviously going in, it's like we just come off Jurassic Park Rebirth, which was very much a movie about going through the motions. Pretty much, it almost felt like a movie that was there to make sure that they retain the IP rights. This one feels like they have a clear story. Obviously, this one's based on a book.
Is it?
It is based on a book, yeah. So if you want to read that,
I want to watch the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some cool ideas, cool shots, and cool gory deaths and that kind of stuff.
Who'd you go? Did you go, Buddy?
I went Buddy. He enjoyed it as well. So
He enjoyed it?
I believe what he said coming out of it was, "Man, I really want to play this video game."
I mean, that's a compliment, I feel.
Yeah, like he said like a Wolfenstein-esque game with dinosaurs. So, but yeah, fun thrill ride. Again, that the ending of the film is well worth the build up. So,
I would they were doing quite a lot of promotion for this at its premiere in America and stuff.
yeah,
Like, it
they
seems to
had a
get,
panel at San Diego Comic-Con, which was the first time like an
Yeah.
Australian film has had a panel at San
Yeah.
Diego Comic-Con. I believe it was released limited theatrically this week. So I don't know. I haven't seen any numbers, but I've seen some other places giving it pretty good scores. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think character-wise, some of the characters are kind of paper thin and that kind of stuff, but you're not here for the characters, to be honest.
We're here
Yes,
for the
yeah.
dinosaurs.
Commandos fight dinosaurs in Vietnam.
Yeah, I want a fun dinosaur movie after the disappointment of
Yeah, something different,
Jurassic World. Yeah.
Check out Primitive War if it's playing near you. There were a lot of, here in Queensland, a lot of cinemas were playing it, so I'm hopeful it did reasonably well.
Film there, that's why. Film there, that's why.
That could be, but, I feel like...
It's Queensland. It's a Queensland homegrown. It is. Don't
yeah,
doubt me.
sorry.
Don't doubt me.
Shot
I'm the
on
one who
in
watches the
shot on
Australian
the Gold
movie.
Coast, but still, like,
Yeah.
all the major chains were, like, had screen cinemas times, so,
Well, that was good. That's pretty good. That was probably your first Australian movie for the year, so I'm glad I could help.
All right. Speaking of Australian things, Dylan, you watched an Australian miniseries called Playing Gracie Darling, available on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. Look, I check. Look, I try to check out all the Australian stuff, and that's the reason I watched this, to be honest. So, I didn't know what it was. I clicked play. It turns out, well, I hadn't even watched the trailer or anything. It was just I knew it was coming out, but yeah. It stars what's her name? Morgana O'Reilly. Morgana O'Reilly. I was close. Who I most recently saw in The White Lotus. And she plays this like sort of over the top, very happy, whatever, like person looking after people in the hotel. So it was quite funny going to this where she's like the opposite sort of character. But it basically is like all Australian TV things, which is everyone's depressed and got dark secrets. Which is
that used to be the trope for Australian cinema. Like that's all the movies that we make now. It's Australian TV. It's just like
it really is. And it sounds like I'm shitting on it, but it does every time. I'm like, can we just do something a bit different, guys? But anyway, the setup is it starts when her character, Morgana Rye's character, and like friends are teenagers, and I don't know, 2005 or some shit. And then they're doing teenage things. You would never do this, but they were doing teenage things that some people did, which was play with a Ouija board. And everyone freaks out. Oh my god, it's moving, blah blah, things happen. Everyone runs out, and then some people go home, and one of the people, Gracie Darling, she never comes home. She disappears. So for 27 years or whatever, I think the jumping time is, or something like that, they she's never been found. Her body's never been found. She's never turned up anywhere. No one's what's going on. The kids now in the same town play a game called Gracie Darling or something like that, where they basically say her name 3 times, and it's this whole like what would you call it? Like I'm trying to think of the word. I'm really struggling to think of the
what's her face? Like Beetlejuice or Bloody Mary or
those things. What do you call those? Anyway, whatever. But you know what I'm talking about. That sort of thing. She's become that, and so some new kids do it, and the same sort of thing happens. Girl disappears on this particular occasion. So because of this, it is also what is it? It's I think it's like Gracie Darling's sister's daughter or something like that's like it's in the same family line sort of thing that disappears is sort of how it works out. So then Morgana O'Reilly's character, she returns to her hometown to basically she feels obligated to, I guess, drawn to there. So she comes down and she basically starts her own investigation into what's going on. I will say it teases consistently supernatural elements because that's what you're supposed to be led to believe because they're playing Ouija boards and stuff. I never brought it for 1 second, and I'm not going to say like big spoilers, but there ain't no supernatural elements. It's not that sort of story as much as it wants you to believe it. It's just there's a darker underbelly to some stuff that's happening in this town. And I mean, look, it's decent. If in the long line of shows of similar stature of dark secrets in small towns in Australia, this joins the ranks and unfortunately will fall through the cracks and quickly be forgotten. Not to say that it's not worth checking out if you do like the Australian sad people genre. I would say that the other thing I found quite interesting is Cecilia Piculo. Is that how you say it? The comedian?
Cecilia Piculo.
She's Piccolo, yeah. She's in this. She plays the mother of the missing girl, the daughter of the missing Gracie Darling, and the mother of the one who goes missing now. So she's playing a straight, by that I mean like non-comedy role, which I've never seen her do personally, but she's done mixed comedy drama roles or whatever. But I thought that was interesting. So it's okay, but will be long forgotten by the end of the year, to be honest.
All right. So I checked out the new film that came to Disney Plus, Eenie Meanie, starring Samara Weaving. Samara plays Edie, who at the start of the film is like there's like a prelude section where she's a 14-year-old girl. Her parents get super wasted at like a local bar, and they call her to come drive them home because her dad has taught her how to drive to the extent where he believes that when a police car comes up and like pulls them over, she is capable enough to get away. So that's the prelude. Events happen, and she has led a difficult life, gotten into a life of crime, was going through the foster care system and that kind of stuff, before giving that all up to try and go back onto the straight and narrow, starting with dumping her boyfriend, John, who she'd been with for several years. Just trying to work a normal job, get into school, that kind of stuff. Fortunately, she finds out after being knocked out during a botched bank robbery. She's pregnant and she's pretty sure John's the father. So she goes to visit John. John's in the shit. He's kidnapped somebody he shouldn't have. And now he is pretty much Al Pacino plays Nico, who was like a big.
Hold on, Al Pacino's in this?
Al Pacino no, Andy Garcia. Sorry.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, we watched the trailer
Andy Garcia,
like 2 weeks ago.
Italian, man.
Whoa!
They all look the same. Andy Garcia is like a mob or like a organized criminal head. And he tasks Edie and John with stealing $3 million from a casino, in which it's going to be placed inside a car. So they're going to steal the car and drive away with money. That's kind of the premise. I enjoyed it. I think it's the way it was marketed in that trailer. It looked like it was going to be a bunch more action heavy than it actually is. There's way more of a drama / crime thriller, delving into Edie's character and like getting to know her and trying to figure out why she's with this guy who is equal parts idiot, equal parts like dummy, equal parts like kind of sweet. When she is this really talented person who could do anything she wanted. So yeah, the film is kind of delving into their relationship as they're going to try and get this job done. And the twists and turns that kind of happen. But yeah, the action stuff that we kind of see in the trailer is very much pulled from the very small handful of action sequences in the film. So if you're going into this, I'm expecting it to be like, obviously when we watched it, we went, oh, this is going to be comparable to Baby Driver. They're not close. But it's still a really enjoyable film, and really, Samara Weaving's fantastic in this. Kyle Glusman, who plays John, is really gives a really interesting performance and weirdly charismatic. And other interesting characters kind of pop up throughout the film. So, yeah, I think, it's only like 90 minutes, so it's really short. Definitely worth checking out because, I think it's a really well put together film, but maybe set your expectations about what it's actually going to be, don't expect it to reach action heavy heights. Now watching it, I understand why they didn't push it in cinemas. Like this seemed, the scale of it seems like a streaming project. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would check that out. The only other thing on our watch list this week is we both finished watching the latest season of Game Changer, the Dropout game show series, hosted by Sam Reich, in which every week there's a new game to be enjoyed. I thought a fun way to cover this season, because we only talked about the
way we did it last season.
Yes, we did it last season. Also, I believe we only talked about the first episode.
Yeah, we did.
Let's rank this season of Game Changer. Hey, just jumping in here to say that we recorded this before the 11th and secret episode of Game Changer Season 7 dropped. So not included in our rankings, but we're excited to talk about that next week. So with that said, enjoy this ranking. So Dylan, what have you got at number 10? The 10 episodes? What do you got number 10?
Where'd my list go? I'll be honest, I found this one hard. I don't think there was any shit episodes this season. I don't know if that's a hot take. I think that overall this season quality I'd rate it better than last season. If I was ranking,
I think, in my opinion, there's one that's at the bottom, and then there's 3 standout episodes that I feel like are a little bit higher than everything else, and everything else was a pretty solid, enjoyable stuff. So,
yeah, I've got a hot take. I think we're starting at 10. Yeah, I've got a hot take on number 10, and it's going to sound really mean when I place it here because I'm sure it's a lot higher than yours. but there's a
Oh.
reason for it. There's a
Oh.
reason for it. My number 10 Who Wants to Be Jacob Westside.
You piece of shit. Don't you have a heart?
Which is a heartfelt, very enjoyable episode that I could easily watch again if I want to feel good. And when putting together the list, I kept sitting it sort of to the side because I was like, I don't know, it's sort of hard to combine with the rest because it doesn't even feel like a proper game changer episode. It really is like it's snuck in as a way for them to reward him, I guess. And it is very heartwarming. However, I decided just to stick it at the bottom in a season where I enjoyed every episode just because I was like, it's not even comparable to the rest, in my opinion. It's just it's its own thing.
Okay.
That's my reasoning.
My number 10 is One and Done. I just think it's a pretty basic idea, and I feel like it didn't really. A lot of these other ones kind of stretch out in interesting directions and that kind of stuff. This one was kind of the same all the way through. So
this was my number 9 for the same reasons. It was fun. It was hit and miss. You know, sometimes it'd be like, by the end of the episode, I was like, I'm sort of sick of hearing, you've only got one shot to get it right, you know, or whatever. But I mean, the first few times it was fun to see like the crew all like jump in and do the break dances, and
it didn't come
like,
around like you thought it would, like to being funny.
No,
again.
it didn't build up to anything. It just sort of just plateaued, I guess.
Yeah. My number 9 is Earnestest, because being earnest is never fun. I mean, it was like from 9 to 4 is like splitting hairs. So, in my opinion, yeah. I mean, I thought it was pretty. There are some fun moments, but yeah, it's just happened to fall number 9.
My number 8 is outvoted.
My number 8 is outvoted.
There you go. Season finale. Again, a lot of fun. Had a great time. Brendan's on it, so it's bound to be a good time. Overall, it's just a very I guess similar to One and Done. It didn't build up to anything that felt like the best game changer episodes sort of do. It just sort of continued. It was funny. It had its moments. I don't think some things worked maybe the way they wanted them to, especially when people got to abuse the rules and like claim all the extra people straight away. And like it just felt like some things were probably meant to not work the way they did, but that's what happens when you design a game.
Yeah.
You know, but seeing like obviously having Sam's dad come out was funny. Brendan trying to constantly break the rules by the end was funny because that's his thing. But I mean, when you get to the winner, you're like, what's this actually mean? And I guess that's you're like, that sort of deflates it a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is probably hard being the last episode of the season. Like, it's kind of, you know, especially with these last couple of seasons where there's been like double or triple head episode, extra length ones.
Last season was a double, wasn't it? Just
and then the previous couple of seasons were like Survivor-esque games. But yeah, I mean, interesting concept. Like obviously having to shoot it in front of a live audience and like maybe not having the room to change things on the fly if they needed to. Played into it.
Did you find it interesting they did 2 episodes this season with live audiences? I think it was.
Yes, kind of.
Well, one like, you know what I mean, but it had more like people from the public involved.
Yeah, so I mean, it was interesting, and obviously, you know, they've got the pull. It would have been more interesting if it was like these people knew nothing about it. It wasn't.
I think they made the right choice,
but yeah,
by picking the fan base for this particular thing.
Yeah. So, what's your number 7?
Fool's Gold.
My number 7 is also Fool's Gold.
All right, so far we're sort of on the same track. Again, just very, very hit and miss. I think I had a mix of probably one of my favorite things from this season in this episode. However, I would say a lot of it was like, it was funny in the moment, but not super memorable or whatever. And by my funniest thing, it was the what's her face hosting the D&D campaign.
Yeah, Katie Maravich.
Just to see,
it's D20 on a bus.
Just to see the anger on Brennan's face and consistent anger when He's like, "You're on a bus now." "Oh, we're on a bus now, cool." And what he like just starts putting things out. It's like, "What are we doing?" And Matthew Mercer's just like, you can tell he's like, this is sort of funny. Just good times.
I'm going to play as being wholesome as possible in this bit and come off the nicest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
Also in retrospect, because watch this, and then probably 2 months later, announced that he was gonna be the DM for next season of Critical Role. I'm like, oh
yeah. Which is interesting because they made a bunch of announcements about this week. What am I thinking? Like interesting concepts. Like you said, I think a lot of them were a bit hit and miss. Some like
old mate coming out peeling off the glue. I was like, sounded funnier than it would be. I think.
I know it was kind of weirdly satisfying to watch, like those big pieces. I mean, the Poppy Bowl thing. Like, I think it's interesting. The numbers definitely reflected what was the most interesting in the end.
Yeah.
The stuff. So, so it was. I mean, it also, because it needed to wait for the numbers to come through, it wasn't like...
Yeah, you don't know who won by the end.
Yeah, so I mean, it forced you to go, but I don't know if you've gone back and watched.
No, I just saw some people post
who won. Yeah.
So, but it is weird to watch like a game show for an hour, and at the end, if you watched it when it released, then you're like, who won? You don't know. You gotta wait.
Yeah. So, I mean, it also gives us the great meme of Brennan Lee Money retiring to go make American Girl do shoes. That's all Critical Role came along.
Yeah.
No,
I think he said in his post he's still trying to make time for it. So, yep.
Go sell some of the shoes. Nobody's buying any.
Yeah.
That was the thing. And also buttholes.
Yeah.
Great buttholes. Then what's your number 6?
Number 6 is Earnestest.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is I think they had the right cast for this one because it's just a bunch of people who have to do everything sincere, directly sincere. I think Lisa, I can't remember.
Lisa Gilroy.
She very good in this episode. Would be the standout to me from this one. The other two were fine, like Ali and Zach, but I thought Lisa was the really like pulled this episode up and made it super. Like the rap obviously is the sincere Sam shit talk rap or whatever. Yeah. Very funny.
It was very funny. Yeah. Sort of great setup of like, oh no, the sincere, the joke on me is broken. You have to be sincere. Yeah. My number 6, Who Wants to Be Jacob Wasaki? Super heartfelt, enjoyable. Obviously, this pseudo sequel to an earlier episode of Game Changer where they did that episode for Jess Ross, where everybody just reads nice letters to her, where she has to not cry and fails. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that it took so long for me to figure out that this was clearly planned to be, for Jacob specifically, and everything's been tailored to him. And just kind of enjoying his weird friend group. Their argument about hot dogs. What kind of hot dog? Does it have to have a bun or not? Yeah. And yeah, just the fact that LinkedIn gave them $100,000 to give to somebody just to do some crazy ad reads.
I would love to know the back and forth on that business bit. Like, hey, LinkedIn reaches out and they're like, "Hey, are you open to sponsorship or something?"
I don't know if you watched it behind.
Did they reach out to them?
No, they just kind of
reach out.
Publicly went out. Hey, we'd love to do some corporate sponsorship versus an episode of if anybody's interested.
Because it's obviously they don't usually do any corporate sponsorship stuff or any sponsorship. They're very they're just the money all comes from subscriptions. So the second that happened, I was like, this is where all the money's coming from.
Yeah. All right, number 5.
Number 5, I have Roulette. Which I found quite funny because I thought the setup of this one was very funny. And the rules and it just felt like a very well designed system. This all seemed to come together well, I think. And it's because on paper or if you look at a picture or read what the episode is, it's a bunch of people spinning a wheel. They pull off a prompt. basically from the rule, sorry, from the wheel. They have to wear it and then like do whatever it says or not do what it says or what have you. It sounds simple when you explain it. However, when you have people who's like, you can't swear, you got to be angry all the time, you got to like end every sentence with this while wearing cowboy hat, like it just quickly like got out of
Escalates,
hand, and it escalated to the degree that I think everyone would say usually the best dropout stuff is, or game changer stuff is shit where it just does escalate to such a degree, and this is an episode that escalated to quite a degree, so very fun.
My number 5 is Olympics, which I think is a really interesting concept. And I mean, the moment to me that makes this episode special is when the car alarm goes off and they explain that they're going to be competing again directly after they've done a competition, competing against themselves. I think delightful in such a game changer moment. And just the level of manipulation too around it. Delightful, as well as Brendan sticking a bacon sandwich in his underwear. Delightful. Dylan, what's your number 4?
Number 4 is crowd control.
My number 4 is crowd control.
There you go. So this is the live episode was hinting at, obviously. Very fun idea, I think. Just it's a show, like the whole company's comedians, right? So it's like they do a very comedian focused thing, which is literally they're doing crowd control, but they've got to pick people to talk to consistently. But they get to pick from, like when they introduce hey, these people are red flags, it's like, who's going to go for those? Like, go straight to the person. It's like, I've got cancer, it's like, what are you expecting? It's like, oh, my dad died yesterday. It's like, but yeah. I also would say the other one that this is and I don't know if I've missed something, but this is the first episode I saw Josh
Johnson,
who obviously, who I don't know if he's been in other stuff that I'm not aware of. But,
he's a Daily Show correspondent.
There you go.
And also, he's got a pretty extensive YouTube audience. Like, he pretty much puts out a comedy special every week because he'll go around and do topical humor.
Did not know anything about him. Watch this, was like, this guy's great. And I, between like obviously appearing on 2 episodes this season, I hope. I did watch the behind the scenes of Outvoted, where Sam in that one says that Josh became he was only introduced to him this year for this season and has become a favorite of his. So I think for obvious reasons.
Think that's the one you're thinking of.
Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Demi.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, I'm thinking of Demi. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, my bad.
No. Yeah, really great concept. Lot of fun. Like, I'm the opposite. I hadn't seen much of who was it? Gino Corsi. And now he appears on my Instagram timeline all the time with his segments and his podcast and all that kind of stuff. He's fantastic. But yeah, I mean, the concept, really a cool idea of like having this live audience and them trying to do crowd work and that kind of stuff. I don't know if you've seen the news this week. Yeah. Check that link.
Where am I looking?
In the studio chat.
Oh, they've done it as its own thing.
Yes, they've already spun off crowd control as the next an upcoming series.
Do you think it's wild? I wonder if they ever think of things as backdoor pilots, or they just base them on, like, they film it and go, "Fuck, that was good. Let's send that into its own thing." You know what I mean? Like, that's very fast.
I mean,
like, that's a very fast turnaround.
They would have had to have. Well, I mean, they filmed it before the episode even came out, so you would have to assume, based on their workflow, where they're like several months ahead.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, like, they obviously filmed the Game Changer one and was like, we've got something really here. Well. Yeah, let's just keep going.
Yeah. So,
well, that's cool. Looking forward to watching that.
Yeah. So, Crowd Control coming to Dropout September 8th. So only a couple weeks away.
They're very good. Every time I think maybe I need to like drop my subscription for a month and save a couple bucks.
No, those couple of bucks are worth giving to these people. You know. Number 3.
Number 3 for me, the drinking game, which I'm going to spoil because it's the reason
Yes.
it makes the top 3. But obviously, this thing is a game where everyone's sitting around and they're trying to basically find out which of them is the secret sober,
Mm-hmm.
and which ones are drunk. When everyone was drinking before the show, I think is how it works. Yeah, it's
Yes.
like one of us is secret sober, and in retrospect, it became one of the best episodes because it was so much fun, and it felt like watching like a one of those like I don't know, like a Survivor the Secret Mole. I don't know, like everyone was like
I mean,
trying to like watch them.
it's clearly a deduction game, like the
Deduction, yeah, but
traders,
you're
like
as
werewolf,
an
like
an audience,
mafia,
you're
like
trying to
all
also
those.
work it out. As
Yes.
an audience member as well, you're trying to like
Who is?
like I wonder who is this the thing.
Well,
And
no,
then by
actually,
the end of the
you know exactly who it's going to be. That's the way they positioned it.
Yeah, but you're still like,
What's the twist?
what's the twist? And the twist is they're also
Which
so it's just a bunch. It's just a bunch of women sitting in a room, all pretending to act drunk, basically,
Mhm.
and they did very well.
Yeah, it was believable.
Very well.
My number 3, which I think we'll now see every episode listed 1 year later. What a fantastic opening episode. It's a semi-sequel to Sam Says 3, in which Vic, Jacob, and Lou have to complete all these tasks in the past year, and to see what shenanigans they kind of went, what lengths they went to. Crazy edited episode. Definitely one you need to see the behind the scenes for as well, because it's a good hour extra content of stuff they cut from the episode. Yeah, delightful, fantastic episode. I really love it. So, Dylan, what's your number 2?
My number 2 was the Olympics. I can't remember where you said this was.
My number 5. Yeah.
Was it? So yeah, this is just I think it when it happened the first time, and you're like, oh god, we're doing it again. That's insane. But then there's some point where like I'm watching it and I'm going, not even like halfway through the episode.
This
Like,
episode be pretty short.
what's going to be the next twist? And then when it's like, and we're going again, I was just like, oh my fucking god. And I think it's like the perfect cast for it. I think putting Brennan in to have him play against himself is just exactly right. And then, you know, by the time we get to the end of the episode and it ends with them all just doing a big speech and picking friendship over Sam and, you know, like this competition and typical Brennan fight the man stuff, perfect. Couldn't have asked for a better outcome to this episode.
Yep. My number 2 is the drinking game, which I think has a fantastic, like the twist is fantastic and like one of those incredible, delightful moments that somehow Game Changer has been able to capture again and again and again. But even like the games that they're doing along the way, so delightful, and like the way it's put together, I guess, of like you have Lily, who's the one who's we believe is the only secret sober, and like she's trying to give her perspective on the game, and like, yeah, everybody was kind of bad, so I didn't really have to do anything. And just like the set that they obviously went to, and like the lighting, and like the way they incorporate the feel of Game Changer and the liquids to signify
It looks like the
stuff.
It looks like the set of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or some shit.
Yes, and all these women just being fully committed and like saying whatever they want, and you know, backstabbing each other and just giving the weakest reasons for voting each other out. You know, poor Becca Scott just being so depressed at the start. It's just a sad walk, and somebody's gotta go. You know, just what a great episode. Dylan, what's your number 1?
My number 1 was 1 year later. Yeah, I mean, from the second episode starts and it's revealed, and they get given their package of the dossier, the files, and then they wander through the back, and you just hear who's it? Vic is like,
find somebody's hair.
Find somebody's hair. It's like, and there's like, I think you hear Jacob or whoever be like, what page is that? She's like, the last one? Like, how the fuck? And then just Sam just laughing manically, and then obviously the cut to the head, and then everyone walking back into the room, their ridiculous outfits. And from that second, I was like, this is going to be a good episode. And it was. It didn't let up. It did build. It's everything I love out of a good Game Changer episode, which was just absolute insanity from start to finish. That was, yeah. And they started the season with it. This is the came out swinging.
I believe that's what we said at the time. It's like, how are they going to top this? Apparently they didn't.
Yeah. Not for me.
My number one is Roulette, which I think such a fun. This is an episode that I've watched several times because I just think it's the funniest thing, and all the performances are really great. Especially Jeremy, who's tasked with being polite and just turning on to everybody, and fucking Paul Raffarino coming out, and then the way the episode kind of escalates and kind of weirdly turns the tables.
Well, I mean, by the end of the episode, Sam's a contestant.
Yeah, so. He finally, after 7 years, finally won an episode of Game Changer. Yeah, it's such a great concept, and like even just the scale of the wheel, just the way it was run, and like how they pulled it off and that kind of stuff, really great. And like, there's so many there's a moment where they destroy like one of the prompts for the first time, and also because like, we need to. We have to destroy all of these all these rules, have them all ground up, and just Jeremy turning on him and like calling him out for not following the rules, which I think is one of the best parts of it, is them calling each other out for every mistake they make.
Yeah, just being like, excuse me, but
yeah. So delightful. So yeah, Game Changer season 7, great stuff. Make sure you subscribe to Dropout. I mean, of all these small teams making smaller scale content online, they're probably the best.
Yeah. They make really good shit, and they just generally all seem like a bunch of good people.
Yes, that helps.
Yeah. And I don't have to, as far as I'm aware, I'm not worried about anyone
secretly being you hear about how they're doing like the share of the money across everybody who works on the projects, that kind of stuff. It's like
the overall backing of the company seems to be a creative focused thing rather than a trying to just make Sam rich sort of thing.
Despite what jokes they might make on other content.
Yeah, which is fine.
All right, that's everything in our watch history. Let's move on to a little bit of film news. Not a lot this week. I mean, the most interesting story to me is the continued success of K-pop Demon Hunters. This past weekend, the film had a limited sing-along screening, which by the time this comes out will now be available on Netflix. But reading the list,
can you just sing along without a sing-along screen? Like
the words come along and for the timing and that kind of stuff.
Can you just turn captions on there?
Yeah, but it's like the karaoke where I assume is either the ball or the words highlight, so
it gives you the
timing, and that kind of stuff.
Okay,
and also there's like harmonies, so maybe there's like, I don't know. I didn't go, but the film opened in the US to $18 million for a 2-day opening, making it the first time in history a Netflix film has opened at number 1 at the US box office, which really raises the question: why doesn't Netflix put more content out in cinemas?
It's
will
reactionary
Netflix see this as a success or as a crazy outlier?
Crazy outlier.
I mean, that's kind of it. That's kind of it. I mean, honestly, it's a little bit of timing that it's probably not up against. It wasn't up against like a massive like blockbuster film opening that weekend. Like, I think it beat Weapons, which was in its 3rd week, which is made $15 million on its 3rd weekend. Again, really good numbers. So yeah, I think K-pop Demon Hunters. You still haven't seen it yet, right?
I still haven't watched it. I do want to watch it. The thing is, I would love to watch it in the cinema.
Well, you had your opportunity. You fucked.
I don't need to go to a sing-along screen in there.
Yeah.
Well, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to watch it. I've never seen it before. I'm not here to sing along.
I mean, the other interesting, like, they came out with some of the numbers behind what Sony actually made from K-pop Demon Hunters, and they only got $20 million, I believe, despite it being... It's going to go on to become the biggest streaming movie in Netflix history. It's closing it on Red Notice, which... I don't know, the film has currently amassed 184.6 million viewers, which is behind Red Notice, but they expect to take top spot in the next couple of weeks. So Sony... It's interesting, like, everybody's like, Sony really dropped the ball by not releasing this in cinemas and like selling it to Netflix.
Was that their choice?
Well, I mean, they made the deal to let Netflix fund most of the movie.
True.
But then
they make a choice, or they just chose not to, and that wouldn't have got made if they didn't let Netflix.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
that's also a possibility. But also, like, is this success of the movie because it was so accessible? Would it have been as big of a success if it had gone to cinemas first? And people had to take the risk of going to see the movie rather than just turn on Netflix and be kind of surprised.
This is the problem, though. This is the problem with cinemas most of the time, right? Cinema going audiences is no one likes taking risks, and I guess, and that's the main question: is people don't like taking the risks because they've been trained over years to only go to known properties between IPs and cinema sequels and stuff, or is it that people don't like to take a risk because money's tight? And people want to know that whatever they spend their money on at cinema, they're going to like. Or is it a combination of both?
I mean, it is a combination of both. That's why people should listen to us and follow our opinions.
Because they're right.
Because they're right. And they'll be the same as yours, surely. Unless they're not, in which case you're wrong.
That was an outlier. Come back anyway. Listen next week.
They'll be
right in the future.
There's always one. Or two.
Just keep going.
Or maybe three.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously they've greenlit about a bunch of sequels. There is a ton of merch already out for it that you can go buy. I believe pop vinyls are about to drop any day now. You know,
of course they are.
So this isn't the last we'll ever talk about K-pop Demon Hunters. I will say, if they have not booked a bunch of either the actual singers or a bunch of K-pop stars for the Academy Awards next year, like to do some sort of singing segment for this. Because that, if they like announce that there'll be like either a performance by the cast or like a medley or something like that, there'll be some sort of performance. That is a surefire way to get a bunch of kids or people to go watch the Academy Awards next year. I'll tell you what. This week, a bunch of other interesting casting news that maybe won't difficult to give a lot of time to, but we like to cover a lot of these stories in a segment called Would You Want to Invest? Right, list off a bunch of information about different projects to Dylan, and you can tell me if you would fully invest, partially invest, or not invest, and then history will be the judge if he is right or wrong. You're ready for this installment?
Yes, I'm always ready.
Always ready.
Matt Cardona.
Always ready. Completely unrelated side note. Did you see the story about Rampage Jackson's son today?
Yes, I did.
That is fucked up.
I watched the video. It is fucked.
Yes. He knocks him out with the power slam and then just wails on him.
Absolutely ridiculous. I want to note also, just a quick tangent before we go. I have not watched AEW
Forbidden Door?
All In. Forbidden Door. Yeah, sorry. I have not watched AEW Forbidden Door because I'm trying to be a good boy, and currently between spending all that money on that trip to go to MIF, I was like, I don't know if I currently want to spend $50 on a pay-per-view.
Wow.
So I am a fake fan, and I just want to get that out there.
Just check the results online and watch the highlights.
I have been doing the fake wrestling fan or the internet wrestling fan thing where I don't actually watch the thing properly. I just watch the highlights and watch the clips and judge
the finishes, yeah.
On judge the finish, the finished product on those moments. So yeah, it's good. Also, did you see AEW is going to Sydney and Melbourne? So apparently they hate Brisbane. Yeah, yep, confirmed. Sydney and Melbourne. Sydney is Grand Slam. Melbourne is a house show.
That is dumb. Because Melbourne is where the actual Grand Slam is.
Yeah. So, just to put it out there, because this was announced in the last 24 hours, I'm currently in a thing of, obviously I want to go to Sydney. I know no one else is going to go to Sydney. You're not going to go to Sydney. but he ain't going to go to Sydney. So I will be on a one-man trip, which is fine.
Well, unless you can,
I'm not alone.
we can talk
I'm
about.
not a lone rider.
I'll cut this out. Like, maybe hit him up Media Pass. If Betson can get one.
Betson got one via Fid.
Listen, we're literally talking about it on a podcast. Like,
Yeah,
we're promoting it.
So, yeah, I mean, I want to go, but Sydney is. I was like, Sydney, guys. Why Sydney? Anywhere but Sydney.
But yeah, why
why.
Sydney when Grand Slam?
Probably because fucking that's where Kyle's from.
Yes, maybe.
And he's one of their biggest stars currently.
Mm.
Yeah.
The actual tennis Grand Slam is in Melbourne. They're fucking with the theme. Anyway, let's kick things off. TV take of Archie Comics Riverdale spent 137 episodes on CW and ran from 2017 to 2023. But Universal Pictures believes there are more Archie stories to tell on the big screen. The studio has a project in the works with Tom King adapting the 85-year-old comic and Phil Lord, Chris Miller, and former 20th Studios film boss Emma Watts producing. King wrote the DC Comics Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which was adapted into the Craig Gillespie directed film, set for release next summer. He's also a writer and EP on the HBO DC Studios upcoming Lantern series. So that Tom King.
Yeah, I was out, and then you pulled me back in. So full invest. I was out at the idea, and then you told me who was involved, and I was like, "That's intriguing."
That's intriguing.
Yeah. Mind-blowing news. I just opened Google Calendar because I remembered that you're going to ask me to pick what movies I'm excited for this week. It's got dark mode, everyone, now. It just popped up and said Google Calendar now has dark mode. Breaking news for this podcast. Not related, but thought I would hammer that one home. Keep going.
This podcast that comes out 2 days after this is recorded, yeah. Kevin Costner and Jake Gyllenhaal have signed on to star in Honeymoon with Harry, a dramedy from Amazon MGM Studios based on the book by Bart Baker. Doesn't make it better. The studio announced on Monday. The film follows a man as he decides to go on a honeymoon with his would-be father-in-law after his fiancée dies 2 days before their wedding. Glenn Ficarra and John Requa will direct the film from a script by Dan Fogelman, with whom they've worked on shows like Paradise and This Is Us, as well as the film Crazy Stupid Love.
No, I'm not investing. No, you got nothing.
Fuck depressed guys, dead wives.
Yeah, fuck depressed guys. Yeah, I'm sick of depressed guys. I got my own depressed guy. You know what I mean?
I want depressed stuff. I watch Australian content.
If I want to be depressed, I'll watch anything with Australian flag on it.
Cal Penn, Adam Pauly, and Chris Redd have joined the cast of What the Fuck Is My Password? As production kicks off in New Jersey. The trio joins cast members David Castaneda, Scott Adsit, and Edie Modica in the cast of the Steve Pink helmed film, which is written by Jeff Morris from a story by Pink and himself. Last month, Deadline exclusively announced Alexander Ludwig, Poppy Lou, Ricky Staffery, Stephen Dorff, Kate Walsh, and Sarah Gray were also cast in the ensemble comedy. What the Fuck Is My Password is about a guy who learns he has invested in Bitcoin while drunk on graduation night more than 13 years ago, is now worth more than $200 million. A new future and wealth beyond his wildest dreams await him if he can remember what his goddamn password is. After his first attempt fails, he's horrified to discover he only has 4 tries and 7 days to figure out what it is, or he loses the money forever.
Holy shit. This is Uncut Gem. Like, this is a new age. I'm fully in. Yes, fully invest. Yep.
Yeah. A real problem that I'm sure several people have.
By the end of the movie, I hope he doesn't get the money, but learns a life lesson about like subscribing to a good password manager or something. You know what I mean? I'll teach you.
It appears Baz Luhrmann has found the titular hero for his Warner Brothers epic Jaham d'Arc. Deadline hears he's in early talks with Isla Johnston to play Joan of Arc, You might remember her from The Queen's Gambit, where she played the younger version of Beth Harmon, character that has a breakout role for Anya Taylor-Joy. This was a hot role among young actresses, maybe not the right way to describe it, since Joan was burned at the stake in the 1400s after leading the troops to the Siege of Orleans and pressing for the coronation of Charles VII as the French king
Where
during
the fuck
the
are you
100 Years'
reading this
War.
from?
She is considered a patron saint of France. That's
Where are
the
these
article from
descriptions coming
Deadline.
from? Right, okay. This writer went off. This is like me writing something in the morning before I've had coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Partial vest. Sure.
I think it's funny.
Jesus.
To be fair, I don't remember her as younger Beth Harmon, but Baz Luhrmann, Joan of Arc, interesting.
I'll watch Baz Luhrmann.
Keep Tom Hanks away from it. Brie Larson, Lily Collins, Jack Quaid, and Henry Golding are set to star in Close Personal Friends from Amazon MGM Studios. Jason Orley is directing. Isaac Apter penned the script, which is based on a story he wrote with Orley. Plot details being kept under wraps.
Cool.
But that's the cast.
I will not invest. Currently.
Writer director.
Bring a better pitch.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Writer director Jessica Liu has set her cast for a debut feature, the dark comedy Better Life. Those atop the call sheet are Randall Park, Ming Na Wen, Joel Kim Booster, Margaret Cho, Anrudi Pishrodi, and Yao. Based on Lin's proof of concept short of the same name, which plays numerous Oscar qualifying festivals, Better Life is said to be a mix of dark satire and grounded sci-fi elements in an AAPI-centered story about ambition, family, and identity. When a groundbreaking medical procedure promises to turn slackers into overachievers, an aging father seizes his last chance to achieve the American dream through his unemployed adult daughter.
I know. That doesn't sound like a wholesome story at all. Partial invest.
It sounds like a true Asian story. Asian immigrants. Finally, I can achieve my dreams of getting my child to be successful.
He's speaking from the heart currently. Like,
What? No, this is a bit. William H. Macy has been cast in Hulu's as yet untitled Dan Fogelman drama series set inside the world of the NFL with a generational family component. In his regular role, Macy will play Hank Durkin. He joins the previously announced lead Chris Maloney, who will play Danny.
Did you say Hadouken?
Durkin.
Oh, right, okay.
Chris Maloney, who will play Danny Rourke, the head coach of an NFL team.
Not my cup of tea, but I'll go partial invest. You would be all about that, though.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. It's not your show, though. Not your segment. It isn't who does Ash partially invest in? Full invest. Because the answer to that is it a rom-com? Is it a sports movie? Fully invest.
Oscar winner Nicolas Cage is in talks to headline the upcoming 5th season of the HBO Emmy Award-winning crime anthology True Detective.
Fully invest.
Which marks the return of season 4's Isa Lopez, the showrunner. The new installment will be set in New York in Jamaica Bay, per HBO's head of drama series and film, Francesca Orsi. Cage is set to in talks for the lead role of Henry Logan, a New York detective on the case at the center of the new season. Fully investing.
Read this other day, and I was like, that is possibly when it's like if you're like, who should they cast in the next season? I could never have picked who I'd want for. But when I saw this, I was like, you know what? Nicolas Cage in True Detective is exactly what I want. Just want some brooding, like just lots of him like monologuing about nonsense. I mean, like, well, the great sun across the trees and this young girl, like it's gonna be a good time. New York City's interesting because obviously
they've all been quite rural, right?
They've either been season 2 was in, I don't remember if it was New York or Chicago or somewhere, but season 2 was the city, the worst season.
The good season.
Right? So the good season's in cities. Season 1, rural. Season 3, rural. Season 4, middle of fucking nowhere.
Someone call it rural.
Not
I don't
even,
know.
not even close to a city. So yeah, now we're going. Let's go to big city. I'm like, that's where the show last time really fucking lost it. So yeah, we'll see.
All right. After working with Blake Lively on the Another Simple Favor films, Lionsgate has acquired the Tom Media spec The Survival List as a starring vehicle for the actress that she'll also produce. An action rom-com, the film follows Annie, a highbrow reality TV producer who, against her wishes, is assigned to a new show hosted by famous survival expert Chopper Lane. However, when a shipwreck strands them on a deserted island, Annie discovers Chopper is a fraud and knows nothing about survival, leading her in charge of figuring out how to keep them alive. Forced to work together, they begin to discover an unlikely chemistry.
Okay. Yeah, fully invest. Only because the whole time I kept hearing chopper and robots, and I just kept picturing "Wop, wop, wop, wop" from Rebels.
Completely unrelated, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's where my mind went, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to think who they cast against. It's like Chris Hemsworth would be perfect, you know? It's a dude who like gives a facade of being a survival expert, and then when he gets to the real shit, knows nothing.
I mean, just plays his from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be the
There's no Lionsgate. We're putting great ideas here.
We always have great ideas, and they never reach
I know.
out. You know,
It's rough.
It is rough.
A24's October, the new genre picture from Rebel Ridge and Green Room Helmer, Jeremy Saulnier, has added two buzzy up-and-comers with a track record at the studio, Chase Who Wonders and Sophie Wilde, who will star alongside the previously announced Corey Michael Smith. Character details under wrap, and the film's plot is being kept rather hush-hush as well, but sources have described the project as a fugitive thriller set during Halloween.
Ticks a lot of boxes for me, for sure. Fully invest.
Barely information on this one.
Yeah, but spoke
Enough.
to the heart.
Okay.
Said fugitive thriller Halloween.
All right. Catherine Keener has joined the cast of the Amazon MGM Studios pick Love of Your Life, starring Margaret Qualley. The film also stars Patrick Schwarzenegger, Aaron Pierre, and Gabriel Basso, with Rachel Morrison directing. Julia Cox wrote the script, and Ryan Gosling and Jesse Henderson are producing. Plot details of this one are also under wraps.
No.
No.
You only get one out of me.
Don't like that cast. We've confirmed that Alex Son and Gavin Johansson's spec screenplay with the 8th pick about the behind-the-scenes 1996 NBA drafting of Kobe Bryant has landed at Warner Brothers. There is no director currently attached as of yet. The project is told from the point of view of John Nash, the general manager of the New York Jersey Nets, and incoming Nets coach John Calipari, who really wanted Bryant. However, the New Jersey was a broke organization, and Bryant was an LA Laker fan. Not to mention Bryant's sneaker deal with Adidas would be worth more with the Lakers than with the Nets. Bryant was being courted to become Calipari's first NBA draft pick, a move that would have changed the course of the NBA forever. It's described as Social Network meets Air meets Moneyball with a thrill event.
What the fuck did you just say?
Draft picks, sports, stuff.
I'm out.
Okay.
No invest.
What a big mama, man.
You lost me. Who? The snake.
Mm-hmm.
Kill Bill?
Jason Momoa and David Leitch are coming to produce The Pirate from writer Will Dunn, whose hot spec script was acquired by Amazon whose hot spec script was just acquired by Amazon MGM Studios. Deadlines confirmed. Leitch and Kelly McCormick are in negotiations to produce, while Momoa is in negotiations to produce with his banner. Plot details are vague, other than it's been described as the raid set on a pirate ship.
Fully invest.
Yeah, you need to, when you say plot details are vague, you just need to at least give Dylan something. Just a couple of words.
Just give me something. Just use some fucking descriptive words, you know what I mean? It's been described as a raid set on a pirate ship. Duh. Of course your boy's going to invest in that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Last one for this week. Danny Boyle has made a name for himself by taking powerful real-life stories and turning them into thrilling cinematic experiences. And the Oscar winner looks to have found that next riveting tale to adapt. Sources tell Deadline that Boyle is on board to direct Inc., a Studio Canal, Media Res, and House Productions pick that revolves around the rise of Rupert Murdoch's empire. Insiders add that Oscar nominee Guy Pearce is in talks to play the media mogul and News Corp founder, and Jack O'Connell is in talks to play Larry Lamb, who Murdoch hired to run The Sun when it was purchased in 1969. An explosive cinematic rollercoaster about a group of visionaries and misfits who had an idea for a new kind of news, one that would give the people what they want and would change the face of the world we live in today.
Yes, fully invested. Can't wait to watch a movie about that piece of shit.
Yeah, Guy Pearce is going to be so good. And that's all the projects, you know. We have
History will be the judge.
History will be judged, but history's so far away. Let's talk about some projects that are a little bit closer with some thumbs for trailers. Of course, find all the trailers we're about to talk about in the show notes below. Kicking things off, we've got Anemone. I believe I'm saying that right. I don't.
Who knows?
Directed by Ronan Day-Lewis, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, Sean Bean, Samuel Bottomley, Sophia Oakley-Green, and Samantha Morton. A former soldier reunites with his brother after living in isolation in the woods of northern England for 20 years. Dylan, what do you think of this trailer for Daniel Day-Lewis's return to acting?
Dull thumbs up, obviously. A very moody piece. Very, don't really know what's going on, but looks to be a deep dive into the psyche of men. I don't know.
Man.
Sure. Men. I don't know. Sean Bean and Daniel Day-Lewis acting together off one another for insert X amount of time. I'm in. Sounds like a great time cinema to me.
I'm going to give the trailer 1 up, 1 down. I don't think it did
You're
a
a
lot
piece of
to
shit. No respect.
get you in other than the creatives involved, which I don't think is quite enough. But, you know, I think the people who are going to see this movie aren't going to be swayed by the trailer. So,
No. Everyone watching this movie just needs Daniel Day-Lewis is returning to it. Okay, I'm in.
So really,
Daniel
they
Day-Lewis
didn't need to
wrote
put
a
out a
movie
trailer
with
at
his
all.
son. All right. No, they
Because
didn't.
I don't
That's fine.
think anybody who didn't care about Daniel Day-Lewis's return to acting is going to watch this. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, it looks interesting, but I don't think it's really grabby, you know? He didn't really want me to go watch it more than...
Wonder how many movies he'll end up doing. I'm wondering if because basically the reason he's retired twice over the years has been because every time he just goes, I'm not enjoying it at the
No.
moment, or like I don't have the passion for it, so I'm done. Which is
You
fair
can
enough, right?
You can just, like, not work.
Yeah, you can not work. But I mean, like the first time he retired, or semi-retired for like 4 or 5 years, whatever it was, he was basically like, "Oh, I'm sort of sick of acting at the moment. I'm just going to go become a fucking shoemaker and somewhere," and disappeared off the face of the earth. No one knew where he was, and he came back and was like, "Oh, I'll act again." But yeah, shoemaking's fun. Like he's just he's an interesting guy, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Well, I mean, he co-wrote this, so he clearly had some
co-wrote
sort of
this with
investment.
his son. So, but yeah, so just it does make me wonder if maybe he's not like back where he's like acting other people's movies, but maybe the passion for him is the fact that he's working with his son, and that's enough to, you know, that's
Keep him
the
going.
collaborative juices. Yeah.
Amone is coming to Australian cinemas is coming to US cinemas on the 10th of October, Australian cinemas 16th of October. Next trailer is for Hedda, directed by Nia DaCosta, starring Tessa Thompson, Imogen Poots, Tom Bateman, Nicholas Pinnock, and Nina Hoss. Newlywed and precariously dissatisfied with life, Hedda, gun-loving daughter of the late General Gabler, has convinced her husband George, a timid but ambitious scholar, to throw a lavish party that the couple cannot afford. On the teaming guest list is Eileen Loveborg, celebrated author of a book exploring sexuality, and George's key rival for a coveted academic post. Hedda sees the guests as pawns in an elaborate game she plans to orchestrate with ruthless precision. Dylan, what do you think of this trailer?
Double thumbs up for Nia DaCosta's Hedda. I very keen to watch this one just because I'm a big fan of pretty much all the cast. I'd say like a lot of underrated actors. I think, including obviously Tessa Thompson in the lead. So hopefully, breakout. So yeah, I don't know anything about the original play, so but obviously it's a twist on it or a take on it. So whatever, I'm down for a good time.
I'll also give this one up or down. I think it looks good. I'm definitely interested, but it's just a lot thrown all at once. I feel like this kind of assumes that you know what the play is and that in the setup, because it doesn't do a very good job of setting up what this party is for and what's happening. Like that description gave me more information about what this film is about than this trailer did. But clearly, there seems to be some tension, and I'm so excited to see Tessa Thompson manipulate all these people to her whims. Hedda is coming to Prime Video on the 29th of October. Next trailer is for Anniversary, directed by Jan Camosa, starring Diane Lane, Kyle Chandler, Madeline Brewer, Zoe Deutsch, Phoebe Diviner, McKenna Grace, Daryl McCormick, and Dylan O'Brien. A formerly close-knit family is torn apart upon the rise of a new movement called The Changed, sweeping through the country. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for Anniversary?
Yep, I'm going double thumbs up. I thought this was really intriguing setup. I don't really fully understand what the change or whatever the schools that I don't really understand what the thing is, but all I know is I get the vibe that it's fucked, and if she's getting revenge, I'm on her side. So yeah, double thumbs up. I'm keen to watch it.
You say that now, but you don't know what she's getting revenge for or what the movement is.
I'm just saying based on the trailer, I get the vibe it's fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, also 2 thumbs up. Very fascinating trailer. Definitely was not the vibes I was going to expect from the name of the movie, which is like the number one like starting point for am I going to watch this trailer or not to add it in this segment. Stellar cast, very just awkward, and like obviously there's a revenge element to it, but like what is I am intrigued about what the movement is. Like, is it a nefarious movement? Because like you get the impression that maybe it's just like white nationalist movement, like we want to get rid of all the minorities. Things would be.
I'm telling you, that's the vibe
like,
I'm getting.
You would not want to be on board with that. Or maybe it's like we want to get rid of all the rich people, so you can go either way.
Yeah, well, that would explain why they're angry, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, no, we like our money.
Yeah.
But yeah, great cast, looks really good. Excited to check this one out. Coming to cinemas, October 29th. Next trailer is for Black Rabbits, created by Zach Bailin and Katie Sussman, starring Jude Law and Jason Bateman. When the owner of a New York City hotspot allows his chaotic brother back into his life, he opens the door to escalating dangers that threaten to bring down everything he's built. Dylan, what do you think of this trailer for a new Netflix miniseries?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go double thumbs up for the trailer because it is a fun, eccentric trailer that does feature a long-haired Jason Bateman, which is just fun to see, and Jude Law being Jude Law, I guess. But yeah, I'm just so any Netflix series, I'm like, I don't know what this is going to be. I'll say Troy Costa's in this, so shout out, it's good for him in another supporting role. So
yeah, 2 thumbs up for me. I think it looks like a really interesting thriller like series, and like Bateman and Law have good chemistry against each other and like fighting and bantering and that kind of stuff. So yeah, looks really great. So Black Rabbit is coming to Netflix on the 18th of September. Last trailer for this week. Good Boy. Directed by Ben Lindbergh. Starring Indy. Following the death of a family member, Todd relocates with his dog Indy to a old rural farmhouse once owned by his grandfather. Although the house is rumored to be haunted, Todd ignores the warnings. However, Indy begins to see disturbing supernatural presences throughout the home, in entities invisible to humans but all too real to him. Unable to communicate his fears to Todd, Indy must confront and understand the malevolent forces threatening his owner. As the supernatural activity escalates, the dog's loyalty is put to the ultimate test in a desperate attempt to protect his human companion. Tell them what you think of this dog-led horror movie.
Double thumbs up. Been very keen for this since it was announced. When I was planning my MIF weekend trip, I ended up picking obviously the other weekend to go because it lined up more movies I wanted to see. But disappointed that Good Boy wasn't playing. It was playing at MIF, but not. It only had one screening. It wasn't the weekend. I couldn't make it work, so disappointed. But it was one of the movies I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up from me. Really well cut together trailer. That is some top notch dog acting. Like I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see the behind the scenes about how they made this movie. It's clearly,
he's just a good boy.
Clearly, a very good boy. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the tension in this trailer is off the charts, especially towards the second half, and like some of the expressions they are able to get out of this dog, crazy. So yeah, definitely keen for other people to watch Good Boy. All right, Good Boy is got no confirmed Australian release date, releasing in the US.
Comes out. It's out. I don't know. Like, isn't it October for like a lot of the world? So
October 3rd. Well, I'm basing it on Flix, which is the number one. That's my usual source. It is releasing wide October 3rd. Apparently, the trailer went so viral. They're like, we're not going to do this slow rollout. We're just going to put it out there. So, Good Boy.
Yeah, if it doesn't get proper here, I'd hope it just come to Shudder fast, maybe before the end of the year.
All right. So this coming week, the Venice Film Festival is about to kick off. So we need to make a couple more entries into our What Do You Want to Watch movie fantasy game. Of course, this is the competition where we've picked a bunch of movies and they'll be scored based on box office performance, as well as critic reviews based on Metacritic. Point check. So I believe the halfway point of the year, probably like start of July, was the last time we did any points. I was leading 144 to 69. Nice. But now, after a lot of Dylan's movies actually released, which is helpful, the scores sit at 148 to 122.
There you go.
So closing in, which makes the choices that we make here very valuable. Could sway things one way or the other. So we'll be picking 2 films from Venice, and next week, when the Toronto Film Festival is about to kick off, we'll be picking 2 films from Toronto. So yeah, Dylan, what are you going to select as your first wildcard entry, which means it doesn't matter if it's a bad movie, it won't affect, you won't lose points, but you have the opportunity to earn points with these films.
Hold on, you asked me to pick 2 movies, so one's a wildcard?
No, they're both wildcards.
Okay.
What's your first pick?
My first pick is Frankenstein.
Okay.
Cause
that was a safe bet.
Yeah. Well, look, to be honest, I think it's going to obviously do well critically. It's just I won't get a lot of points off money because it's getting a limited run.
I assure you, none of these wildcard entries in any of these film festivals will ever be in the top 10.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm just going for critic points. And I believe Frankenstein will do obviously quite well. In fact, I reckon if Guillermo del Toro fucks up Frankenstein, which is a movie he was basically born to make, he might quit directing, I reckon.
Like in shame?
I reckon in shame. I mean, like he loves monster movies, right? And Frankenstein is the monster movie. This is the movie he's been building up to making his whole career. So he's talked about Frankenstein as this book. He's it's something he loves. I just think if maybe you shouldn't play with the things you love the most. I don't know. We'll see. By all accounts, I think it looks great. But everything they've released about it, every teaser trailer, every image, everything that's come out about the movie, it looks fantastic. I think the cast is great. I love that it's this big epic thing. All the sets look amazing. All the you have all these things with Guillermo obviously talking about how he's doing as much practical as he can, and he's got these grotesque fucked up things on the production sets, and like they're not green screening everything. They have these beautifully created the sets for Frankenstein and whatnot when he's creating the monster and stuff. So yeah, very keen.
Very cool. My first pick is going to be Jay Kelly, the new Noah Baumbach film starring George Clooney playing George Clooney. And let me tell you, nobody's as good at playing George Clooney as George Clooney is playing George Clooney.
True. It's less him I'm worried about, more the other person.
What, Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
I know, like, from all reports, like, people are speculating this is going to be his awards movie.
Okay, sure.
They snubbed, what's it call it? That we talked about, you mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
Uncut Gems. And this is the one. In supporting actor. It's also funny that weirdly this is George Clooney. This is kind of George Clooney's funny people.
Yeah.
And Adam Sandler's in this.
Yeah.
As well. So
it's an interesting movie to me because it's obviously Baumbach directed, but it's co-written by Emily Mortimer, which is a interesting. Like the first time I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, Baumbach's new movie. Like, let's check that." Looked it up on IMDb or whatever, like I don't know, a month ago or whatever, and then I was like, Emily Mortimer, like that Emily Mortimer,
yeah, that one. What's the connection?
How did this come together? Yeah, it really does make you wonder, like how'd that come about?
Yeah. What is your second pick?
Second pick's going to be No Other Choice, which is the new Park Chan book film. Yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. It's described as a dark comedy. The plot is apparently, just reading off IMDb here, after being unemployed for several years, a man devises a unique plan to secure a new job, eliminate his competition, which does sound like a dark comedy. And you know what? I think maybe is good life advice. If you really want to go for a job and you think that there's a chance of not being able to get it because of other people being better at it than you, or probably more chance of getting it than you, just kill them.
Absolutely.
I think that's good life advice, So again, this is going for critic points, obviously. Yeah.
Safe bet for it'll be positive at the very least.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I was definitely keen for that pick. I didn't think you'd go that direction.
Why not?
I don't know. Just
you
gut
don't think
feel.
I like the Park
You
Chan?
didn't watch Decision to Leave, right?
No, but I do own it on Blu-ray, and I plan to watch it in the imminent future. Also, fuck you. I'm the one who was the massive Old Boy fan around here. Eat shit. I owned that movie 3 times, and
you didn't watch his most recent one, so you must hate all of his work.
Yeah, that's how it works, I think. I haven't got around to watching his most recent one. You know what the thing is, and I've mentioned this before, sometimes it's like if that movie was in cinemas, I would have been fucking.
It was in cinemas.
Not here, motherfucker.
That's true. Yeah, sorry, I apologize.
And
for a second, I forgot. Yeah. For a second, I forgot you live in a wasteland.
Sometimes where there's movies I'm really excited and would love to watch, and then I miss them in the movie theater, and then just every time I feel like watching it, even if I own it or I can stream it as there, I'm just like, but I just wanted to watch this on the big screen, and now I got it. It's different when you're rewatching it. I had the true experience, and sometimes it's like I could watch Warfare by now. I still haven't, because I'm like, oh, man, I have to watch Warfare at home. Like that I'll watch it, but I do feel like there's just that element of anytime I think about watching, I'm like, yeah, I wanted to watch it in the cinema.
Yeah. So I'll pick Begonia, the latest Yorgos Lanthimos film, which seems to have a consistent plot this time, in which two conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap the high-powered CEO of a major company, convinced that she's an alien intent on destroying Earth.
Well, this one's a remake, so I mean, it has to be the.
Is it? Oh yeah, based on Save the Grand Planet. Yeah.
So it's not him doing some wild experimental film.
Some wild anthology-esque thing, more palatable for the general audience.
Yeah. Convinced that someone's an alien is very palatable for the general audience.
This is like, it's a common theory online, so it's relatable.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, let's move on to this week's top 3.
Definitely in the top 3.
And in honor of the Thursday Murder Club, which stars Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley, and Celia Amira, about a bunch of people in a retirement home trying to solve a murder. This week's top 3. Oh, coming to Netflix this week. This week's top 3 is top 3 films starring elderly actors. Dylan, what's number 3?
I just want to know. You made me put together so many lists this week. I don't know if I was... Goodness, making me work, Number 3, I've gone Gran Torino. Clint Eastwood, being Clint Eastwood. But when I think of Clint Eastwood as grumpy old man, Clint Eastwood, Gran Torino is the one I picture, obviously. If you haven't seen it, it's about basically he's a grumpy old man on his porch, definitely racist to a degree, or at least prejudiced. And it follows basically him trying to look after his car, and this kid takes interest in it. I haven't watched it in a while. I know that like in the years, I don't know if it's like holds up as well in the years since, or what the view of it is, but I did watch it. I've watched it a couple times, but just not for a while. And it's always like probably like, I mean, Clint Eastwood, fantastic actor, obviously. So, yeah.
All right. My number 3, Going in Style, a fun heist movie starring Alan Arkin, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman. When they're these old dudes trying to steal some stuff. I don't remember it super well, but I remember that those group of guys have really great chemistry. So that's my number 3. Dylan, what's number 2?
Number 2 is a more recent one. The Father.
My number 1 is The Father, a movie that makes me terrified of getting old.
Yeah. So obviously we really liked the movie. We talked about it a couple of years ago when it came out. Anthony Hopkins, one of the best performances that year. And yeah, it's a horror movie about growing old, basically. And he just gives a phenomenal performance in it.
Mm-hmm. My number 2 is Grumpy Old Men, a movie that weirdly I watched a fair bit. It seemed to be on TV pretty regularly. About these grumpy old dudes, and then they start having romantic attraction to this person and have a rivalry. So these old dudes fighting each other for the affection of a little woman. Classic. Just like real life. Yeah, Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau. Great movie. Dylan, what is your number 1?
My number 1 is Nebraska. Which, it stars Bruce Dern, but also co-stars June Squibb and a few other old people. They're the main ones. So I picked those as the elderly actors in this, and I mean the whole movie is just about Bruce Dern basically wants to make a trip to Nebraska to basically thinks he's won this like $1 million. I haven't watched it for a few years, but he thinks I think it was a scratchy ticket or something. Like he thinks he's won this $1 million or something like that. He hasn't. He wants to go. He wants to make the trip to Nebraska nonetheless. And the whole movie is just Bruce Dern giving this fantastic performance, and he's surrounded by people giving phenomenal performances as well, including June Squibb plays the wife of him. Will Forte is the other main actor playing.
I could have sworn I was sure it was Will Forte, but also Will Forte doesn't seem like the person to be in this movie.
No, it's 100% Will Forte. He's the main oldest son or whatever. Bob Odenkirk plays the other son. So obviously ticking a lot of boxes for people I like in the films. It's in fact picking this list made me just go, fuck, I need to rewatch that movie. I haven't watched it in a while, and it's such a load of fun. It's beautifully shot as well. The black and white photography, I think, does something for there's a lot of shots of them just walking in different locations and talking, and Bruce Dern just being grumpy, and like the son's like trying to talk him out doing stuff. There's one part where they're like walking up a highway. I just remember thinking about like how if they even like blocked off the street. It just felt like they had a camera there and they was just filming. So I mean, obviously it's like there is like it's a dramedy to a degree, because like there is a backing to the story and the pain in the Bruce Dern's character and stuff, but it's also very funny. So I highly recommend.
Awesome. All right, Dylan, this week, what do you want to watch?
This week, I would like to watch. Fuck, I've already forgot what it's called. Court Stealing, please. Thank you.
Awesome. Nothing else?
And TV show. Fucking nothing.
Yeah. I'm also keen to see Caught Stealing. But I want to go see Honey Don't, the latest Ethan Coen film starring Michael Qualley and Chris Evans. That's the one. Where she plays like a private eye. He plays like the head of a cult church. That looks like a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of Drive Away Dolls, his last film. So
I have booked. I don't know what your plans are. I've got Jaws booked this week. 50th anniversary screening is also in cinemas this week, so I will be going out to watch that.
I don't know if you've seen, but they seem to be really pushing this Jaws 50. Like, I was in my local Coles, and they've got like a bunch of like Jaws 50 merch.
Oh, really?
Like ice cube trays and water bottles and lunchboxes.
That's cool. That's cool. No, I haven't seen anything. I'll have to look next time. To be honest, I am a very like earphones in, power walk to what I want, leave supermarket, don't pay attention to anything sort of person. But no, yeah. So I got Jaws as well as Caught Stealing to look forward to this week. That double feature I'm doing Thursday night. Jaws first, then Caught Stealing. So.
All right, let us know what you're excited to watch this week by letting us know on Blue Sky at explosionnetwork.com, or find us on other social media at ExplosionPod. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars, and you can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you've enjoyed this episode, thought us with $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosionnetwork.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.